Welcome back to the channel. Who is excited about the upcoming Ram HD? Anybody? Anyone out there? Okay, well, if you're not, it's okay, I understand. I think a lot of people are still kind of wrapping their heads around this new unveiling. I mean, the truck is nice, don't get me wrong, but for the 3/4 tons, they did something very dumb. Now, I didn't talk about it in my video I did going over all the updates. I left it out because I was gonna be negative. So I said, let me just take some time, think about it. I took some time. It's still the dumbest thing they've ever done. I really do believe this. Nothing against Ram. I think them having the Cummins and now the power line, they probably could have the most reliable power plant in the HD segment. Hopefully that's the case. Now, as you guys know, Ram has always had the lowest payload in the 3/4 ton segment since 2020 on. Ford and GM have made decisions that have actually benefited their trucks. Something about Ram, however, is they gotta stick with that 10,000 pound GWR. Now, I know some people in the comment section are gonna say this, and it's okay. I'm here to help those who don't understand this. Yes, if you want more payload, you can always go to a 1 ton, but not everybody needs and wants a 1 ton. What I mean by that is, when you have a 10,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating, and you have a truck that's 8,000 pounds, that truck will only have 2,000 pounds of payload, because 10,000 gross vehicle weight rating minus 8,000 curb weight means you only have 2,000 pounds because you're limited. That's the ceiling for payload. If your truck weighs 8,500 pounds and you have a 10,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating, you will have 1,500 pounds of payload. What we do know is Ram went back to cast iron for the block. Also, they have a heavier transmission known as the power line, replacing the 68 RFE in the 3/4 ton segment. Those two things will add weight to the truck, which will take away from your payload. Again, you can always go to a 1 ton if you need more payload. But let's go ahead and check out some pricing first for the 3/4 ton segment. I want to go over this and then we'll jump into the video. So if you're looking at tradesmen, I'm gonna only show 4-wheel drive. I would never buy a truck without 4-wheel drive, so I'm not building one without it. So tradesmen with 4-wheel drive regular cab starts at $48,495. If you want the standard bed crew cab configuration, $52,115. And long bed crew cab is gonna be $52,315. If you could jump over to the Bighorn, 4-wheel drive again, this is the 8-foot bed regular cab, $52,395. So it basically costs more than a tradesman just in regular cab, okay? If you jump up to the 6'4" with the crew cab, it's gonna be $56,015. And with the 8-foot box, $56,215. Moving on to the Laramie, you can get 4x2 and a Laramie. If you go to the base, which is the crew cab short bed, it's going to be $64,725. 8-foot box, $64,925. And mega cab is $78,000. Goodness gracious, that's a big jump. $78,835. With the mega cab, it's going to be the more expensive one. And you can only get 4-wheel drive with mega cab if you didn't know that. All right. Now, Power Wagon, $68,645. There's only one configuration for the cab and bed. Same thing goes for the Rebel, $68,940. The Limited Longhorn, you can get in 4x2 and the Limited, as you can see there. Now, for the 6'4", $76,340. Long bed, $76,540. Not a big jump, as you guys are seeing here, for the longer bed. And then for the mega cab, $90,450. So it's a pretty big jump to get that mega cab. And as I said, you only can get mega cab with 4-wheel drive. Now, jumping over to the Limited, if you get the mega cab configuration, you have to get the Cummins. So yes, you can get in the 6'4" bed configuration, and probably 8-foot, you can get the Hemi again. But yeah, $76,590 for the 8-foot box, and $90,500 for the mega cab with the standard bed. Okay, Now let's go back up to tradesman. Tradesman is the only truck that you can get this one option with. I'm gonna just scroll all the way down to the bottom here. So you guys see right here, 50-gallon fuel tank. If you wanna get this option, you have to get a long bed truck. But in the 3/4 ton segment, you only can get it in the tradesman. Do you know why? Let me tell you why. Because of payload. That is why. Now, I'm gonna show you guys right here. You have 3 axle ratios. You have a 373 and a 410. Those two are only for the gas engine. And for 2025, we now have a 342. Now, if you want that 342, obviously it's going to select the diesel. Now, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here so you guys can see it. Now, you guys see in the middle there, you have a 10,190 pound gross vehicle weight rating. Now, as I said, Ram is stuck on 10,000 pounds. So you're probably thinking, well, there's 190 pounds more of payload potential with this truck, right? Now, as I said, we now have a power line. We now have cast iron block. Those two things are gonna weigh more for the 3/4 ton segment. With that being said, I'm willing to bet you the reason why they increased it by 190 pounds is for the extra weight of the transmission and other factors. Here's why this is the dumbest thing. The reason why people stick at the 10,000 pound is because in some states, it does affect registration when you go over 10,000 pounds. The problem is you already went over by 190 pounds. You might as well just go to 10.5 or 10.8. Why only go up by 190 pounds? It makes no sense. If you're gonna go up by a little, you might as well just go the whole way. I mean, GM is at 11,350 pounds. Although I saw on a truck, and I'm gonna be doing a video on it soon, it was at 11,300, so they took away 50 pounds. And on Ford, if you get a standard bed, this is all for standard beds, by the way, too. On a Ford, it's 11,000 or 11,100 pounds. So again, in regards to those 3/4 tons, the reason why they increased that is because the diesel option is so much heavier. So therefore, in order to give the trucks decent payload, which is typically around 28 to about 3,300 pounds, that's pretty good payload for a 3/4 ton. Rams is always in that ballpark of 1,800 to 2,000 pounds. I'm willing to bet you on this truck here with the diesel, it's probably, actually I don't really know what they are for the tradesmen, but if it was like a Laramie or a Limited, it would probably be just under 2,000 pounds, if not around 1,800 pounds. So why not just make it to where you have two options, 190 or 500 or 800 pounds? I would say 800 pounds at the bare minimum, because if I was specially ordering my truck, I could just select 800 pounds more, not worried about the registration restrictions or the gross combined weight rating. I could just get what I want on the truck and still have decent payload. I don't understand that. My only theory is because of the coil suspension and because of the frame, because if you haven't noticed, the framing is totally different on the Ram 3/4 tons compared to the 1 tons. Totally different. So I'm willing to bet you the reason why they cannot use a higher GWR is because of tolerances with how much capacity the truck can actually hold. So it doesn't make sense why they would just go to 190 when they could have at least gone up to at least 10.5 or 10.8 and just stayed under 11,000 pounds. But they didn't do that. So my theory is they don't have the strength in this 3/4 ton to do so. Last thing we're gonna do is I spec'd out 4 trucks, the first one being a Tradesman, Bighorn, and then I did a Laramie and Limited. These are the most popular trim levels, and I spec'd them pretty much how I see them at dealerships, and I put as much options on them as I could just to kind of give you the worst case scenario for pricing. So starting off with the Tradesman, this is a long bed spec. I feel like this is how most people would build it. And you guys can see some of the options here. So obviously I did them all with a diesel. I did them all with a 2.4 kilowatts of power. And yeah, bed, utility group, all that stuff. Engine block heater. You're gonna see that for every truck here. Now on the Tradesman and Bighorn, just really quickly, you can now do a bed delete for $400 off the price of the truck. So if you would like to get a regular pickup truck and just have the bed deleted, you can now do that. That was not available for 2024 and earlier pickup trucks. But yeah, $73,310. Total of options is $19,000, with the majority of that being the diesel engine. And so you guys see their 50-gallon fuel tank. This is the only trim level available with that, so just keep that in mind. Up next is the Bighorn. I did this in a 6'4" bed crew cab because that's what I normally see these spec'd as. And you guys see the base price there. All the options are on this one. As I said, fifth wheel prep package, 2.4 kilowatts. Did I have the fifth wheel prep on the, ooh. At least I thought I clicked it on there. I guess that was the only thing that was missing. So really quickly, let's just kind of go back here. I just want you guys to see the full price, pretty much apples to apples. It must have deselected it from me because I could have sworn I clicked it, but yeah, there it is. So now that's the price for the tradesman with fifth wheel prep package. So $73,855, and then you go up to $79,460 for the Bighorn. Now you guys see here, I did add the sport appearance package, which is not available for that tradesman. Okay. And I did add the running boards. It came with running boards on the tradesman standard for some reason. It probably came part of a package though. So $79,460. And Laramie, I did add the night edition package for these trucks, and these are mega cabs because that's how I typically see them where I live at. So with all the options here, and you guys see that Laramie level 2 plus package. So now they have Laramie level 1, Laramie level 2, and then they have plus packages for them now. So with that package, $48.95, total price $93,745. That's pretty expensive in my opinion for a Laramie. And I'm going to kind of give you my thoughts on pricing at the end here. But lastly, here is the Limited. This truck having night edition. Oh yeah, and I added air suspension. You probably saw that. I added air suspension, sunroof. Just to, again, give you worst case scenario for pricing. If you don't want the sunroof, if you don't want the night edition, you can just deduct those off the pricing basically. And yeah, $103,305. In my opinion, this truck, even with the air suspension, because you know, if you don't get air suspension, Ram does not give you overloads. I feel like air suspension should be standard on Limited trim levels personally. But yeah, at 103, I think this truck should be priced around $98,000, the way that it's spec'd here. That's just my opinion. In that ballpark, I think this truck would be a really good deal because it puts it behind the Denali Ultimate from GMC. Also on the Laramie, this truck should be under 90 grand. I think around 88,000. Again, these numbers are still high, but where I think Ram could get the best benefit for their pickups is in that 88 grand range for Laramie spec'd out like this. Because a Denali from GMC again is about $87,000, $88,000 optioned the same way. And you can get a max trailering package, which increases the capacity for the truck. Now, as far as the Bighorn goes, these prices for me, this and the tradesman, I'm going to be way off here. I think this truck should be spec'd out like this around 70 grand. This is where I think the pricing is kind of insane. The way I look at numbers, if I'm going to spend $80,000 for a Bighorn, I could easily bump myself to a Laramie. I know it's a huge jump, but it just seems like at 80 grand, I mean, there's not a big difference in the pricing and payments at that point if you're planning on financing. But here, this truck around 68 grand would be perfect because I didn't add the chrome package to this tradesman either because I just don't like the way it looks. It's only $1,000, but you know, this is just more of like a basic truck, and it has a 17-inch wheel. So at $73,855, I think the truck should be priced just under 70 grand. And if you add that $1,000 chrome package, you're pretty much at $75,000. So hope you guys like the video. I think that with the discounts you can get with Ram, and I'm pretty sure most dealers are gonna drop their pants if you're looking to order a pickup right now. I think they're gonna discount them. If someone's telling you MSRP, find another dealership. I would not pay MSRP for anything right now, and especially not, you know, these trucks. I mean, these trucks are already really expensive, and because it's not a huge change, I think that if you're getting a nice price, like invoice. That's a pretty decent deal. If you can get below that, even better, because I'm sure they're gonna add some incentives on these trucks, probably this month and next month as they start showing up to dealership. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Next video that I do, I am gonna be discussing the 3500s and some updates that they've done with that truck, because the dually's got something special. See you guys soon.